Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Office of Community Outreach and Engagement. Today, we're going to be having a very short conversation about the COVID-19 Clinical Research Center at Hutch, or more informally known as the CCRC. And so to help us get familiar with some resources as well as some treatment opportunities that you can get involved with, I have a very special guest with me. I have Ms. Lauren Watson. Lauren, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me here today, Dylan. Appreciate it.
Great. And for those at home, Lauren is the project manager of the community outreach and recruitment portion at the CCRC. So she's very knowledgeable about this topic, and I'm excited to learn something new today. I hope you all as well. What is the COVID-19 Clinical Research Center? And can you tell us more about your research?
Sure. So in October of last year, Hutch opened the COVID-19 Clinical Research Center, as you said, CCRC, on our South Lake Union campus. And of course, this was in purpose to conduct our clinical studies for those who are interested in our new treatment methods and of course the medications for COVID-19. These of course can all be administered safely and evaluated outside of a traditional hospital setting with our center. We did redesign it, of course, with safety as the top priority in protecting everyone from transmission from both our participants that are COVID positive to those who are healthy or fully recovered from COVID, as well as our staff.
Why is research for COVID treatments important when vaccines are now available?
Even with vaccine and EUA treatments available, we are considering it that our job is not yet done. The existing COVID treatments are primarily available only for emergency use in hospitals and very large clinics. And that really limits access for many community members and requires intensive resources to provide. We think having treatment methods that are available at local clinics and telehealth will allow for more of the population to have access, including those that are underserved and have been really impacted by greater numbers and are most vulnerable, both inside the US and outside. There will definitely still be many people that are not vaccinated or at high risk for getting COVID. And before we can say that we're rounding that corner in getting through this pandemic, we certainly have an obligation to ensure treatment medications and medicines are available for all of those becoming sick across communities and throughout the world. We always like to remind everyone, of course, hospitalization and morbidity from COVID infection is really just the tip of the iceberg and what we need to address. To address the impairment in quality of life and, of course, the effects of long COVID, we need to have treatments that reduce the amount of time someone is infected and help resolve those symptoms early. And we think by doing so, we're going to help significantly address the effect COVID has long-term, physical, mental health, as well as, of course, safely open our communities.
Who can get involved?
Adults who have tested positive for COVID may be eligible. We have studies that focus on recent positive tests to treat early in the infection, and we have studies opening very soon that will focus on those with long COVID, or as more formally known, acute COVID. We invite participation by many, including those with underlying medical conditions, those that are experiencing mild or moderate symptoms, and those from varied racial and ethnic groups that have been impacted in greater numbers by this pandemic, especially. Representation by members of varied backgrounds, races, ethnicities, and medical histories really helps to contribute and provide a more complete picture of this research. And it really helps build confidence in those communities that the research was developed with them and for them. Most important is that during research, everyone should keep in mind that it means that your health is closely monitored. And that's something that has been lacking greatly unless you're getting to the point of being in a hospital or having severe symptoms. This really gives the opportunity for your questions to be answered by a doctor that's monitoring your health in progress. Study teams provide that much needed attention and care. Most would not receive it unless they're reaching the point of hospitalization.
Lauren, thank you so much for your time today and sharing information about the CCRC as well as treatment opportunities. That wraps up our questions for today, but I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you to our viewer audience for watching. And of course, please remember, stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you, Dylan.